Good. So my name is Paul Gaceru. I work at Nature Kenya as a species and science program manager. So my key role in the organization is to bring the science that help to guide our conservation interventions. Because as Nature Kenya, our mission is to connect people with nature. So there's a need for informed by science. So nature science. So that which informs our interventions. So because we are science-based, we just don't do our work we don't do our work because of feelings or emotions. We do our work because it's guided by a science behind it. So that's what my responsibility is, to provide that science which informs our conservation work.
Okay. So how long have you done this for? When did you start?
So I've worked at Nature Kenya for at least 10 years now, but in the conservation field for just around 20 years. So I have a background in wildlife ecology. So I've studied wildlife stuff, nature work, which then shows the interest within that background of academics. But this did not just start because I went to universities to study wildlife or wildlife ecology, but started way back because I love the outdoors. I participated actively in the wildlife clubs in primary school and high school. So I think the interest started quite a while back, not just because I studied it. So yes, I think quite that.
Okay. Sorry, I'll record for purposes of writing.
No.
Okay. So just briefly provide me with an overview of your, as Nature Kenya, the sustainability projects that you're running, and the objectives, of course.
So Nature Kenya has a strategic plan which is guided with certain pillars. Each one is on species and science. So that's a pillar that I support with the science component. Then we have a pillar of sustainability, which is linking up with business, government, to ensure that there is appropriate appropriate policy processes, appropriate business practices that contribute to nature conservation. Then we have a pillar of local action, which is to support local communities towards who support conservation of nature, because as our mission goes is connecting people with nature for a sustainable future. So there's a local community element, which now is that one key pillar, which is local action. And looking at those three pillars, they're the guiding the guiding principles that Nature Kenya operates on. And therefore, this specific component of engaging business is mainstreamed, or it's core to our activities within the sustainability pillar. So we want to businesses or private sector, or whoever it is, government, let's say like for now for East African breweries, their core raw materials are nature-based. They use water for production. This water comes from somewhere, and water does not just produce itself. So to ensure that they're able to achieve sustainability, they need to look at how best to conserve the water and to help in the replenishment of the water. So to ensure that their business is sustainable, we approach them to provide those solutions that would ensure that their business is sustainable through to the future. And it's with elements to do with water replenishment capacities. So every beverage that they make is made of water. That's called their business. So if they don't have water, they're out of business. So in that case, if you look at where the water comes from, then forests, they're critical role for water replenishment. So all the rivers come from the forests. All trees provide the capacity for the soil to be able to take in the water and sequestrate the water into the ground, to underground aquifers, into the rivers, etc. So our support to East African breweries is to help their business to be much more sustainable through actions that help in the replenishment of water. And with that, our core activity has been supporting them in tree growing activities, restoration of forests, looking mainly at these two main forests that support water, that support in providing water for Nairobi, and that is Aberdares and Mount Kenya. Because if you look at those two catchment areas, most of the water comes from those two catchment areas that support Nairobi with the water business. And above that, just beyond water, is that when their business is reliant on electricity to power their machines, to power all this equipment that they're running in their factory, and that electricity comes from somewhere as well. And the Seven Forks Dam provides it provides 75% of hydropower in the country. The other power generating options that you have in the country, but hydro is one of the major ones in the country. So therefore, the replacement of water is not just linked just because of their raw materials, but it's also raw materials for energy. And then finally, water is also the raw material for production of food. So the barley that they use, the sorghum that they use for making the beers, the raw materials for their products has to be watered by something. So and therefore the same water that comes from the forests helps in watering the plants, but also the forest provides conducive environment which then attracts rain to be able to have this crop which is used as their raw material in their business. So it's a multifaceted thing, but overall it's looking at the value chain of their production. So if they support this part of their production, it's ensuring that their business is sustainable.